Hey folks, it's Cody Stoffer with Playmakers Corner, here to tell you about Code Red Coaching. Competing in athletics means you've lifted the weights, you've watched film, and you've got the passion. Problem is, that's what everyone else in the state has done. Perfect your game by honing in on your mental performance with Code Red Coaching. Whether you are a team or an individual, Code Red Coaching has the tools to create mentally solid habits and set up you or your team for success. Find Code Red Coaching at coderedcoaching.com or call 720-979-1914 to learn more today. That's coderedcoaching.com or 720-979-1914 today. Now back to the show. And in case you did not know, this is the final week of recaps for the 2023 season. So I first wanted to say thank you all so much for your support this season. We'll have one more episode next week talking about our favorite parts of the season and some takeaways that we had. But other than that, let's go ahead and get into the recap of these championship games. The 3A one taking place down in CSU Pueblo and narrated by Gino, and the 4A and 5A state championships recapped by yours truly up at Canvas Stadium up at CSU. And just CSU, not CSU Pueblo. So I'm going to pass it over to Gino, and then we'll have a quick word from our sponsor after his segment, and we'll be right back with the 4A action.
What is going on, everybody? Gino here with the Playmakers Corner podcast, and it is now time for the final 3A recap for the 2023 Colorado High School football season. This has been yet another amazing year in the 3A classification, where it felt like there were at least 7 or 8 teams that had a realistic shot at reaching this championship game, so it was extremely tough for these two teams to get to this point. And when I say these two teams, I am of course talking about the 2-seeded Holy Family Tigers facing off against the 5-seeded Lutheran Lions at the CSU Pueblo Thunderbolt this past Saturday, December the 2nd. This was actually a rematch, as Holy Family had already outlasted Lutheran in a 35-28 shootout in Week 7. So basically anything could happen in this game. The Lutheran Lions came into this game fresh off a comeback win in the semifinals where they ended Green Mountain's perfect season, and a quarterfinals game where they outlasted Durango 39-30 in a high-scoring game. They run a fast-paced offensive scheme that tends to change focal points depending on their opponent. Their versatility and ability on offense to adapt to their opponent's strengths makes them one of the toughest teams to beat in the state and has led them to this championship game. They are looking to win their first state championship and avenge their loss to Roosevelt in the state game from last year. The Holy Family Tigers came roaring into this game with dominant wins in all 3 of their playoff games leading up to this state final. They have a dynamic offense led by the 2023 3A PMC MVP, Rylan Cooney, who lights teams up with both his arms and his legs. He's extremely tough to bring down, as a lot of Holy Family's plays have him on the move or getting the ball out of his hands quickly. The Tigers have had a tough schedule this year with multiple games against ranked opponents, so they were definitely ready for this matchup against Lutheran. They were looking to add their 3rd state championship overall and their 1st in the 3A classification. This was definitely a fun game with a lot of surprises, so let's not waste any more time and go ahead and see how this 2023 3A state championship shook out. Starting us off here in the first quarter, Holy Family won the toss and they would elect to receive here. They start at the 20-yard line following a touchback. The Lutheran defense started off hot here with number 55 Riken Posey stuffing a run from number 6 Dominic Gabriel for a loss of 2 yards. The Tigers then ran a keeper with their playmaker number 2 Rylan Cooney getting 4 yards, and then on 3rd and 8, Cooney nailed number 9 Noah Vigil on a slant for a first down to the Holy Family 33-yard line. The Tigers would end up punting on this drive though, as number 50 Peyton Garrett stuffed a first down run for a loss, and then number 11 Mason Kelly broke up a slant to force the punt. A solid punt from number 5 Jackson Grable on Holy Family put Lutheran at their own 31-yard line to start their first drive of this 2023 3A state championship. They started off with a run up the middle to their lead back, number 2 Cole Johnson, who takes that for a nice gain and a first down at the Lutheran 42-yard line. It was Johnson again on the next carry as he takes that one for another Lion first down into Holy Family territory at the 44-yard line. Following the first down, Lutheran got hit with a rare false start, followed by another flag on the next play, this time a holding call to make it 1st and 25 for the Lions. They gave it to Johnson on back-to-back carries to make it 3rd and 22, and then on 3rd down, Lutheran's QB, number 16, Reichendoggard, lets a bad snap slip through his fingers as Holy Family recovers the fumble to give them the ball on the Lutheran 40-yard line. Really bad drive there from the Lutheran O-line as they were making some rare mistakes left and right there. The Tigers started off this drive with great field position and start off with a run for 1 yard. On 2nd and long, Rylan Cooney hits number 33, Anthony Scott, for a nice gain and a first down to the Lutheran 40-yard line. Cole Johnson stopped a run at the line of scrimmage, and then Rylan Cooney ran it for 6 yards to make it 3rd and 4. Following an incomplete pass, Holy Family got hit with a false start to make it 4th and 9. The Tigers would opt to go for it here, though, as Rylan Cooney drops back to pass, and he hits number 3, Ashton Erickson, who jumps up and snags it for a Holy Family touchdown. The Tigers now lead 7-0 following the PAT with 5:31 left in the first quarter. The kickoff from Holy Family bounced a long way as the returner bobbles it and lands on it at the 13-yard line to give Lutheran not so great field position to start the drive. The Lions would end up going 3 and out here with the Holy Family defense keying in on Cole Johnson and locking down a 3rd down pass to force the punt. A rough punt from Lutheran got some help from the wind to keep the ball rolling to the Holy Family 46-yard line. Rylan Cooney scrambled for a solid gain on 1st down, but a blindside block from one of the receivers made it 1st and 25. Peyton Garrett got pressure on Rylan Cooney on the next play to force a bad pass, and then on 2nd and 25, Dominic Gabriel came in clutch with a big run to the Lutheran 40-yard line. The Tigers would end up punting again here, though, as a couple penalties and defensive stops shut this drive down. Holy Family's punt lands at the Lutheran 23-yard line. The Lions started off with a 5-yard keeper from Reichendoggard, and then the freshman number 28, Evan Holdridge, got a first down run to the Lutheran 31-yard line. Cole Johnson took the run on 1st down and muscled his way ahead for a 6-yard gain. Then it was Doggard who took a QB keeper for a big first down to the Lutheran 48-yard line. From there, Evan Holdridge got 9 yards on the first down carry, and then Cole Johnson got another big first down to the Holy Family 28-yard line. After a Reichendoggard keeper for a 1-yard gain, that would take us to the end of the first quarter. Lutheran going with the run here early as they are trying to take advantage of Holy Family's lack of size up front. Holy Family, meanwhile, is getting a great game from Rylan Cooney so far and are playing well so far against Lutheran's heavy run attack. Heading into the second quarter now, on the first play coming out of the end of the first quarter, it is Cole Johnson who breaks multiple tackles on his way for a big run to the 1-yard line, making it 1st and goal for the Lions. They gave it to Cole Johnson on 1st down, and he was short of the goal line here, but he actually appeared to hurt his leg on the play as the refs call an injury timeout here with 11:37 left in the quarter. Johnson would be out for the rest of the game due to this injury, so that is a massive loss for both the Lutheran offense and defense. A false start penalty following the injury timeout made it 2nd and goal from the 6-yard line. And then on 2nd down, it's Evan Holdridge who takes a defender with him into the end zone for a Lutheran Lions touchdown. It's Holdridge again on the next snap as Lutheran goes for 2, and Holdridge runs that one in to make the score 8-7 with 11:10 left in the half. We got some fireworks here on the kickoff as Lutheran tries a very risky onside kick here as the Lions actually end up recovering the kick to give them back the ball in Holy Family territory. Except the ball was just short of the 10-yard distance required for Lutheran to be able to recover that onside kick. So that illegal kick penalty put Holy Family all the way up to the Lutheran 41-yard line. What was almost a game-changing play for the Lions actually ends up giving Holy Family terrific field position. It was Dominic Gabriel on first down for Holy Family as he gets a big gain and a first down to the Lutheran 24-yard line. On 1st and 10, it was a Gabriel run for 3 yards and then a Rylan Cooney keeper for 3 yards to make it 3rd and 4. There was an injury on that play with 10:04 left in the half, though, as it looks like number 66, Hake Zemansky, appeared to be shaken up on that play. Sorry if I mispronounced that there. Following the injury timeout, the Tigers ran a screen play with number 16, Nate Welch, taking that screen pass for a first down to the 10-yard line. Payne Garrett continued to make plays here as he stops a run for a loss of 1, followed by an incomplete pass to number 3, Ashton Erickson, to make it 3rd and goal at the 11-yard line. On 3rd and long, Rylan Cooney hit number 18, Monte Samaras, while fading away, and Samaras takes that one in for the Holy Family touchdown. The Tigers now lead 13-8 following a missed PAT with 8:51 remaining in the half. Following the touchback, Evan Holdridge got hit hard by number 47, Santiago Guerrero, to make it 2nd and 9. A Reichendoggard pass got dropped on the next play to make it 3rd and 9. And then on 3rd and long, number 3, Ben Herbeck, made a nice jumping grab for a first down at the Lutheran 36-yard line. Evan Holdridge got another big first down run on the next play to make it 1st and 10 at the Lutheran 47-yard line. On first down, Doggard drops back to pass, looks to his left, lets go, and it is picked off by Santiago Guerrero, who has had a phenomenal game defensively so far. It is now Holy Family ball at their own 44-yard line. On the first play of that drive, Rylan Cooney goes deep to number 0, Jackson Grable, who makes a great catch along the sideline for a big first down at the Lutheran 30-yard line. They tried a couple of runs to no avail, and then on 3rd and 9, Rylan Cooney comes in clutch with a nice throw over the middle under pressure to number 7, Anderson Osborne, for a big first down at the 16-yard line. Skip ahead a few plays, and Holy Family is trying a field goal from the 17-yard line. The kick is up, and it is no good. It is now Lutheran ball at their own 20-yard line following that missed kick. The Lions started off with a couple runs to Evan Holdridge to make it 3rd and 1, and then number 26, Jonas Burcham, got in on the action with a first down run. Skip ahead one play, and it's Reichendoggard who takes a QB keeper for a first down to the Lutheran 48-yard line. Holy Family called timeout here with 3:58 remaining in the half. The Lions got down to 4th and 1, and on 4th down, an Evan Holdridge run got stuffed for a huge turnover on downs for Holy Family. It is now Holy Family ball at their own 43-yard line. Number 24, Xavier Villarreal, and number 72, Landon Mrozek. Sorry if I mispronounced those. Stopped a couple runs to make it 3rd and 9. And then on 3rd and long, Rylan Cooney continued to clutch up with a pass to Dominic Gabriel over the middle, and he takes that for a big first down to the Lutheran 39-yard line. Rylan Cooney wasn't done here, though, on this drive as he rolls to the right and hits number 3, Ashton Erickson, under pressure along the sideline for a first down at the 25-yard line. On the very next play, Rylan Cooney takes the snap, lobs it deep for Monte Samaras, and Samaras makes an amazing grab in tight coverage for a big first down all the way down at the 1-yard line. Lutheran stopped a run on 1st and goal, and then the two teams would actually call back-to-back timeouts here to prepare for the goal line try with 28 seconds remaining in the half. On 2nd and goal from the 1, it is none other than Rylan Cooney who sneaks it in for the Tiger touchdown. Holy Family now leads 20-8 as we head into halftime. Lutheran is seriously starting to slip here as they have made some key mistakes combined with the key injury to Cole Johnson. And then you combine that with Rylan Cooney's poise and relentless execution on 3rd downs, and yeah, things are not looking up for the Lions right now. Rylan Cooney is looking super relaxed as he has been hitting receivers in stride all game despite facing a big and mean Lutheran line. Let's go ahead and jump right into the second half to see who will be taking home the 2023 3A State Championship. In the third quarter now, Lutheran started with the ball here following the touchback. The Lions ended up going 3 and out here though, so definitely not an ideal start to the second half for them offensively. They had a first down pass, but he got called back on a really bad block in the back penalty that didn't need to happen. So Lutheran's offensive woes are still apparent here to start the second half. A nice Lutheran punt rolled to the Holy Family 34-yard line, and that is where the Lions would start this drive. They started off with a QB keeper for 8 yards, and then another keeper for a first down to the Holy Family 45-yard line. On 1st and 10, Dominic Gabriel took a draw for a huge gain to the Lutheran 33-yard line. Really nice play call there, as Lutheran was clearly trying to defend the pass. They tried a couple of runs to Gabriel to no avail to make it 3rd and 9, and then a play-action pass intended for Gabriel fell incomplete, so it is now 4th and 8. On 4th and long, it's Ashton Erickson who takes a pass and crosses up multiple defenders on his way for a first down to the 3-yard line. On 1st and goal here, it's Dominic Gabriel who takes it in for the Holy Family touchdown. The Tigers are up big now, 27-8 following the PAT with 9:05 left in the third quarter. Lutheran went 3 and out yet again here on the next drive following the touchback. Number 55, Camden Austin, blew up a run for a loss of 3 to help force this 3 and out. The punt from Lutheran landed at the Holy Family 30-yard line. They gave it to Dominic Gabriel for a 2-yard carry, and then they went deep on the next play, and it falls incomplete, but a pass interference on Lutheran gave the Tigers a first down at the Holy Family 42-yard line. Skip ahead a couple of plays, and it is 3rd and 8 now. On 3rd and 8, Rylan Cooney hit Ashton Erickson over the middle, and Erickson sheds multiple tackles on his way for a big first down at the Lutheran 34-yard line. It's 2nd and 9 now following the Rylan Cooney keeper, and on 2nd and long, Rylan Cooney tried to add to their lead, but the pass is picked off by number 6 Gavin Downing on Lutheran, and that gives Lutheran the ball back on their own 9-yard line with a chance to try and chip into this big Holy Family lead. Evan Holdridge got a run for a big gain, but a blindside block brought them back to make it 1st and 8. Following a deep incomplete pass intended for Ben Herbick, Lutheran would call timeout here with 5:23 left in the quarter. Skip ahead a play, and Riken Doggard found Ben Herbick for a first down at the Lutheran 27-yard line. Skip ahead another play, and on 2nd and 10, Doggard hit Ben Herbick yet again for another line first down at the Lutheran 43-yard line. There's an injury timeout here following that first down with 4:45 remaining in the third quarter. Following 2 incompletions, there is another injury timeout with 4:12 left in the third quarter. Following the injury timeout, Doggard scrambled for 8 yards to make it 4th and 2. Evan Holdridge got the carry on 4th and short, and he takes that for a first down to the Holy Family 46-yard line. Doggard found Herbick yet again on a screen to make it 2nd and 4, and then a drop pass and a false start from the same receiver on back-to-back plays made it 3rd and 9. Mistakes like the ones we just saw that receiver make were completely killing Lutheran on offense, as it seemed they just couldn't get any sort of momentum going. Number 4, Andrew Long, broke up a long pass to make it 4th and 9, and on 4th down, Doggard drops back to pass and tries one deep, but that pass is picked off by number 23, Joey Wolf, to shut down that Lutheran drive. It is now Holy Family ball again at their own 6-yard line. A couple of Rylan Cooney keepers got the Lions a first down at the Holy Family 17-yard line. They then handed it off to Dominic Gabriel for 8 yards, followed by a Rylan Cooney keeper for a first down at the Tigers' 33-yard line. And that would take us to the end of the third quarter. Holy Family leads Lutheran 27-8, heading into the final quarter of the state championship. Let's jump into the fourth quarter to see who will be taking home the trophy. In the fourth quarter now, the Tigers got hit with a holding flag right away to make it 1st and 20. They did a keeper on first down for 6 yards, followed by a pass complete for 4 yards to make it 3rd and 10. Rylan Cooney would do his usual clutch throw on 3rd down here as he hits Anderson Osborne over the middle for a huge gain and first down at the Lutheran 15-yard line. Osborne took that one a long way and almost took it in, but it doesn't matter here as Rylan Cooney would lob one up to Jackson Grable in the end zone for a Holy Family touchdown, putting them up 33-8. And that would be our final score in this one, as the Holy Family Tigers will be taking home their 3rd state championship overall and their first ever in 3A. They truly dominated from the get-go, with Rylan Cooney playing one of his finest games of the entire season. He is easily your MVP of this 2023 3A state championship with his non-stop 3rd down execution and his overall fantastic play on both sides of the ball. We actually got to have a brief conversation with Rylan after the game, so make sure to stay tuned for that interview after this brief outro. Congratulations to Rylan on the MVP, and congratulations to the Holy Family players, coaches, students, fans, and everyone in between for an amazing season capped off by a dominant championship win. I also want to say congratulations to the Lutheran Lions players, staff, and fans for a great season and another championship appearance. They didn't get the result that they wanted, but it was still amazing for them to make it this far despite having some key injuries throughout the year. The Lions played a huge role in Colorado football by pushing a more modern style of offense, so thank you for continuing to do that. Good luck to the Lions seniors and whatever it is you end up pursuing next, and thank you again for elevating Colorado football. And here is that Rylan Cooney interview for y'all.
All right, Rylan, we're here. You won state, man. You were voted our regular season MVP, and you were also voted state MVP. How does it feel to win state and be here and do your thing?
I'm so happy. It feels great. I've never been so ecstatic, so joyful. It's just a dream to be here with my team, with my brothers, with my best friends, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, with that being said, what was the best memory from the state championship game? I know it's pretty fresh here.
Probably scoring that first touchdown. I mean, just had to set the tone, get that first touchdown early, get the nerves out. I mean, it felt great.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, congratulations again.
And with that final 3A recap all wrapped up, it is now time for me to pass the mic off to Cody, who's got the 4A and 5A state championship recap for y'all. This is Gino Vigil checking out for the final time for the 2023 Colorado High School football season. Peace out, y'all.
Allow me to introduce you to Move the Sticks Virtual Film Academy and Recruiting Services with Coach Wheat. Coach Wheat works through personable, one-on-one film sessions utilizing his experience as a high school, college, and professional football player to assess your level of play and help you develop into the next level player you are meant to be. With over 20 plus players on the next level, Coach Wheat's film sessions, college prospect assessments, recruiting consultations, and bundles will help prepare your prospect in a way that is both more personable and affordable than the competitors. Make it even more affordable using the promo code PMCO on MTSVFA.com. That is 15% off with promo code PMCO on MTSVFA.com. Visit the website or follow at MoveTheSticksVFA on Instagram, or reach out to Coach Wheat at 561-961-8805 today. That's 561-961-8805. Thank you, Gino, and thank you to our sponsors per usual. Now we are transitioning into the 4A state championship game of 2023 between the number 1 seeded Palmer Ridge Bears and the number 2 seeded Erie Tigers. And between 3A and 4A, that is Lions, Tigers, and Bears. Oh my. And there were quite a few oh my's in this game here, as Palmer Ridge rode a 13-0 record to this point in state, and Erie went 12-1, having only lost out of state by a single score to Vanguard down in Florida. So let's go ahead and hop into it without further delay here and talk about Palmer Ridge here, who hands off to number 3, Holden Wright, who gains a few yards, but unfortunately, there is a flag on Erie here that will continue to move the ball for Palmer Ridge another 15. On the next play, the Bears call a familiar number in Derek Hester here, who keeps and gains about 9 yards. They have him keep it again for a first down, and then on the first down, they throw an incompletion, and after a stuffed run and another incompletion, it makes for fourth down from the 30-ish, where they try a field goal attempt, but that is going to be no good and give Erie the football on the 20-yard line. Now, on the first handoff, Holden Wright, a familiar name here, tackles the ball carrier for a loss, but on the following play, number 10, Gavin Lusk here, doing what he does best in finding the opening and getting to the 27-yard line to set up a third and manageable. They call a quick pass left that is stopped a yard short of the sticks, but a good old-fashioned QB sneak will get a first down. Barnett drops back, looking right, and then takes off for a gain of a couple. On the next pass right to the flats, it is complete and sets up a 3rd and 5. That pass going to number 1, Alex Sweeney, the senior wide receiver. And then Barnett looks right on 3rd down and then breaks contain rights, but the Tigers past midfield and obviously will have more than enough for a first down. Lusk picks up another 9 yards, and on 2nd and 1, the Tigers unfortunately commit a false start penalty that puts them into 2nd and 6. Erie will call a play action right, and this pass will go to senior receiver Josh Levine here, who gets a first down all the way to the 31-yard line. Now, driving and with momentum, they call a read option that's kept by Barnett, who gets all the way to the 10-yard line before narrowly stepping out of bounds. Another run gets Erie to the 6-yard line, but a penalty unfortunately pushes it back to the 11. From the 11-yard line, the Tigers roll right, where Barnett stiff arms a rusher with his left arm and with his right slings it to number 12, Josh Levine, who corrals it in for the score. And after the PAT, it is 7-0 Erie with 4 minutes and 51 seconds left in the first. Just an awesome drive, well balanced with a good mix of run and pass. And of course, Blake Barnett, one of the top prospects in the state, making plays along the way. Now the Bears start on their own 20-yard line, and they have a false start, and then another handoff that is just absolutely hammered for a loss by number 76, who on the roster is listed as Dominique Seymour here, basically goes unblocked and sets up a tough second down here. But there's going to be a QB keeper that gets back to the 20-yard line, and on 3rd and 10, they pass it left to Jimmer Ware, who bobbles it but catches for 8 yards. On 4th and 2, the Bears come out and line up in shotgun, and Erie burns a timeout with 2 minutes and 53 seconds left. And on 4th and 2, they delay of game here, trying to get Erie to jump off sides, assumingly, and end up punting. Now, Erie begins on their own 36-yard line and stick to the run that's been working, and Lusk makes a defender miss and picks up 5 yards. They then pass right to Levine, who picks up a first down all the way to the 49-yard line, and then follow that up with a toss to Lusk for a nice gain of yards, but unfortunately a hold on Erie undoes the gain and some, and now they are facing 1st and 15, and it's going to be first and even deeper here as number 99, TJ Mabe, the defensive end here, blows up the run and keeps the gain very minimal. Barnett then drops back before dumping off a screen to Lusk, who breaks upfield left all the way to the Bears' 20-yard line, and that play will be the last play of the first quarter, Erie leading 7-0 and driving now in the red zone. They follow that up and open up the second quarter with a handoff to the sophomore running back Braylon Tolliver, who gets all the way to the 9-yard line for a first down. Holden Wright is helped off the field, and after that, Palmer Ridge somehow gets a better push, holding the next run to just 2 yards. There's a QB keeper right that sets up 3rd and 5, and Wright comes back in. Barnett does take the ball on this 3rd down and 5 and goes right and flies through the air, fully extended and breaking the plane here for another Erie touchdown. Blake Barnett leaving it all on the field and playing his best football of his entire career in the last possible game that he possibly could here in the first half. They do try a 2-point attempt, but that is going to be stonewalled by Palmer Ridge, and it is now 13-0 with 10.5 minutes to go in the first half. Now, on this next kickoff here, Jimmer Ware fields the kick and returns the kick all the way to the 50-yard line, giving Palmer Ridge an awesome starting field position here. Now, Palmer Ridge They come out and they stick to the ground here, still trying to establish the run game, handing off to Gabe Klein left, who picks up about 8 yards. There's another physical handoff up the middle, and it gets a nice shove to the 37-yard line for a first down, and they are now in Palmer Ridge territory here. Hester then keeps and is cracked down at the 34-yard line for just a short gain, and then he keeps a second time for a first down all the way to the 26 for an 8-yard gain. Hester then hands off to right, and after that, another handoff sets up 3rd and 4. They call trips right here, and then a QB keeper to the left, unbalancing the defense and picking up a first down to the 13-yard line. Hester then keeps left and is swallowed up, but an illegal shift will make for a 5-yard loss regardless. They then follow that up with a read option right that gets inside the 10-yard line. There's another keeper here, and I just know that I'm not really in love with this play calling here, this offense, and that sets up 3rd and 3 from the 6-yard line where Cogill lights up the play from behind, making it 4th and 5. Now, from the 8-yard line, the Bears do motion here, and they will throw the ball, but Hester is hit while being thrown, and it is intercepted by number 3, Blake Barnett, not only one of the best quarterbacks in the state, but one of the best safeties, and he returns the football all the way to around midfield, but a scuffle of some kind breaks out with 2 flags on Erie with a sideline warning and an unnecessary roughness that pushes them back to their own 33-yard line. Now Erie on their own 33, pass left to Lusk, who makes a cornerback miss and gets a first down before being pushed out of bounds. A handoff up the middle is halted by TJ Mabe here, and then a pass right to 1 only gains 2 yards. Following a false start, it is now 3rd and 6, and Erie I at least have listed as taking another timeout here with 2 minutes and 42 seconds left in the half. On the next play, Barnett is rolling out, and then just keeps it himself running for a first down left and goes out of bounds. The next run is brought down by 20, and then Erie calls a play action roll right to 1 that sets up a 3rd and 3. The gut handoff goes nowhere, but the quarterback sneak on 4th down goes for enough for a first down. Barnett then gets a keeper called left, and the tackle is flagged. I don't really think that there should have been an unnecessary roughness call here, but it is thrown, and it is now 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line regardless. But the Bears defense buckles down in the red zone here with huge back-to-back sacks here. The first one by Holden Wright for a big loss all the way to the 23-yard line. And then after a timeout by Palmer Ridge, Barnett is sacked a second play in a row by TJ Mabe this time. And after clocking it, Erie will miss a field goal, and at halftime will lead 13-0 here. Some of the notes that I had from the first half here is that the Erie crowd is here, and they are letting everyone in the stadium know, and the offensive play calling is balanced and fun, mixed with Barnett's ability to move the ball and playmaking here, and it's appeared to come relatively easily, with the defense also playing great. But on the flip side of Erie's defense playing great, I also think that Palmer Ridge's offensive play calling is doo-doo here. And while the defensive line is playing well, the Erie offense is operating on a 3D level to Palmer Ridge's 2D play calling, so they look like they're struggling more than they actually are. And if there wasn't a bad enough news for Palmer Ridge, Erie does start the second half with the football here from their own 20-yard line. Now, while it is slow moving here on the first few plays, on 3rd and 9, Barnett shows great touch on a pass to number 12, Josh Levine, who gets all the way to the 50-yard line for a first down and some. Now, after the next run is stonewalled to just a gain of 2, and a short throw is quickly tackled, it makes 3rd and 5 here with Erie in another position here, or Palmer Ridge in another position to potentially force a punt. But unfortunately, Barnett drops back and has a great throw, but Levine makes an even better toe-tapping catch for a first down all the way to the 32-yard line here. And now Erie inside of the Palmer Ridge 35 is knocking on the door again with another great drive, and they are eating up great clock doing so. The Palmer Ridge defense plays really well for the first 2 downs here and sets up another 3rd and 10 where Barnett rolls right but then calls a throwback left to Lusk, who picks up 9 yards for a 4th and 1, and this is where Barnett's eyes have to light up because a QB sneak here for Erie is basically as free as the tush push here, and they call a QB sneak narrowly gaining enough for the first down. Lusk gets the next handoff and bounces the run, searching for room, and finds 2 yards amongst a very hard front to find that 2. Tolliver comes in and gets a handoff that sets up 3rd and 3, and with motion right, Barnett runs left and gets all the way to the 6-yard line, setting up 1st and goal for Erie. The Bears defense stops this next run to just 1 yard here, and after a quick pass right to one is held to none via a great tackle by number 25, Cam Liker here, the senior cornerback here. It is now 3rd and 5. Erie calls a keeper, and with this stiffening defense, it actually causes a 2-yard loss, and from the 7-yard line, Erie will attempt a field goal here, and it is no good. And after eating up 7 minutes to start this half, their drive ends with 0 points. And there's only 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Palmer Ridge trying to swing the sway back in their way here, and it feels like it's been half an hour since their last play, and they shift and run right for 3. So after uninspiring play calling in the first half, they come out uninspired on the very first play again, or so you think, because on the next play, they line up in trips left and roll right and complete a pass all the way to the 49-yard line. Here we go. They're in action here, and then there's a handoff to 20, who picks up a solid amount of yards. They come out with another read option that picks up a few, and on 2nd and 6, they're on the 32-yard line going in. But the Erie defense responds with a very quick stop here, and on 3rd and 5, Palmer Ridge unwinds a deep pass, but number 7, Braylon Tolliver, at the safety position this time, makes an incredibly athletic deflection that probably saves a touchdown here, and so Palmer Ridge is forced to come out with their field goal unit from the 31-yard line. Unfortunately, they false start here, and the field goal unit is going to have to hop off. It is now 4th and 10. Palmer Ridge goes for it, and when Derek Hester drops back, he unfortunately is met very quickly by number 55 for a sack all the way to the 50-yard line and forcing a turnover on downs and giving Erie a very short field here. Now, they do call a shot right, but that pass ends up out of bounds thanks to great downfield coverage, once again by 2-5. But they bounce back with a read option right that gains 4. But Barnett is very slow to get up here. And on 3rd down, they're going to have to trot out Ronan Ward, the junior here, at quarterback, who actually throws right, but it is broken up by number 27, Jake Ancrum here of Palmer Ridge. And after a shift, Erie is going to punt. But oddly enough, on this punt, number 24 bats the ball and is flagged for illegal touching, giving Palmer Ridge a free 10 yards. Now, Palmer Ridge starting the drive on their own 37. They come up with a handoff right that gains a few, but a flag on the secondary is a personal foul that pushes them back 15 yards. On the next play, they call a play action pass right, but the edge for Erie, number 84 for the Tigers here, listed as Giampietro, sorry if I am mispronouncing that, he gets a hand on the ball and forces an incompletion. Following another incompletion, it is now 3rd and 22, and Palmer Ridge is going to take a timeout, try and figure out what they can dial up here with 1:32 left in the third quarter. And they take this timeout to call a draw play, but they do get smiled upon by the football gods, who have an unnecessary roughness call that keeps the drive alive and actually puts the Bears in Erie territory. They have a keeper for 4 and a pass right for 4 that sets up 3rd and 2, where they don't convert, and they will start the fourth quarter with 4th and 2. They do handoff left to begin the fourth quarter to Holden Wright, who extends and picks up the first down to the 38-yard line. Now, with a read option left that picks up 8 yards, they are in great position here, and Hester drops back and finds Jimmer Ware here to get the Bears on the board, but the PAT is blocked by number 24, who I believe is Preston Terranova here, and it is now 13-6 with Erie still leading in the fourth quarter with 11 minutes to go, as Palmer Ridge does get on the board very early in that fourth quarter. Now, Barnett is back in for Erie, and his ankle is taped to oblivion here as they look to start this drive around their own 30-yard line. But on the very first play, Lusk is now slow to get up, and the following handoff is no good. But the next one gets a first down almost to midfield, with Braylon Tolliver now stepping in here as the primary back. After an incomplete pass here, there's a handoff that goes nowhere but backwards, and along with the holding penalty, Erie is now facing a 3rd and 19, or 2nd and 19. And there's a short pass, nowhere, but that was second, and so it is now 3rd and 15, and Barnett is buying time, hopping around on one leg, mind you, clearly in pain with that left ankle, causing some serious issues, but he hangs in there, buying time, and completes a pass to the middle of the field that sets up 4th and 2. Now, Erie here, they are going to burn a timeout with 8 minutes and 13 seconds left to go in the game, and they call a handoff up the middle that does pick up a first down. Following another run that picks up 5, there's a throw right that is just out of reach of the receiver, and that brings up 3rd and 5. Now, Braylon Tolliver gets the handoff left and escapes a potential tackle for loss, cutting right and going down the sideline, pushing one defender away from him, and then finishing the run, putting Erie up 20-6 with 6 minutes and 54 seconds to go. Tolliver, with what might as well be the dagger here on an incredible run, the backup sophomore running back coming in and making an awesome play, and the Erie crowd is just eating it up. What a phenomenal play by a big-time player here. And now Palmer Ridge, now down by more than one score here, will have to start on their own 20, and they have to get a move on with just 7 minutes left to go in this game. And they do exactly that by passing left to number 6, Weir, who gains 15 yards, and after a Hester run, gains 8. Jimmer Ware is turning the frick up, catching a deep pass, putting the Bears inside the 30-yard line. But an illegal shift penalty undoes that massive gain, and Hester has to get right back into his bag and throws a nice touch pass here to number 19, Zeki Wacker here, who makes a great catch by the sideline to the other 37-yard line. A drop would follow this play, and Hester loses his footing on the play after that and gains 2. And now 3rd and 8, Erie takes a timeout with 5 minutes and 8 seconds that is immediately met with a timeout from Palmer Ridge. Now there is an overthrow on this 3rd down, and that sets up 4th and 8, and Hester winds up trying to throw for a first down here, but that pass is going to be intercepted by the senior cornerback Noah Garcia here, and the Tigers start to run this clock out with run after run after run. But that takes us down to 2 minutes and 17 seconds, and with Erie on their own 36, they're going to have to punt, but they did manage to force Palmer Ridge to burn all of their timeouts. Now, Palmer Ridge starts this drive on their own 26-yard line with 2 minutes and 11 seconds left, with a pass left to TJ Mabe, who picks up 8 yards and gets out of bounds. There's then a nice pass right to number 19 to the opposing 45-yard line, now in Erie territory, and another pass to 19, Zeki Wacker here, who gets another first down. After that first down here inside of the 35-yard line, the next pass is nearly picked off, but luckily falls incomplete before Hester throws it to the middle of the field, where Kaveh Meredith here, sorry if I'm saying that name wrong, but regardless, say his name wrong, right, or even odd, he's the one who makes a play here and gets an interception, and Erie will be able to kneel the rest of this game out and claim their first ever 4A state championship here, 20-6, headlined by some great performances here from both sides of the football, and I am just so glad that I got to see this game and see Blake Barnett's career, having coached against him his freshman year and his very first ever high school win, and watching his last ever high school win was very awesome to see. And so with all of that in mind, I am very glad to have seen both of these senior groups lead their teams this season and contribute to Colorado football over the past 4 years, as this is our first class ever seeing from freshman to senior year on the show, which is awesome to have seen through. But I am going to pass it off to Gideon here, who has some post-game interviews from both sides. We'll start with the Palmer Ridge Bears and then hop over to the Erie Tigers.
this is arguably the toughest game that Palmer Ridge has been in a very long time. And where would you rank it on all the games that you've ever been involved in?
It was the hardest. I mean, it's the hardest game I've ever played. We didn't play up to our potential. We could have played better. So it's a good team. It's a good program. Lots of good players, good coaches. So it didn't go the way we wanted, but yeah.
What are you going to take from this game moving forward? Like, what are you going to be? What's the biggest lesson from this matchup?
It's 16, 18 weeks. It's everything. I mean, I made mistakes out there that I shouldn't have. There's some, I mean, got to listen to our coaches. It's just got to respect. It's a great team. We left some meat on the bone, but besides from that, proud of our team. We're going to take this forward. Going to go into next year. Going to start working out, getting ready, seeing what the team looks like. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Court, for taking some time to address those questions. And now we hop over to some Erie interviews.
So, Cole, you come into this game, and you know that Palmer Ridge has a couple of bigger linemen. What's your mindset to get the offensive line for Erie in the right state of mind to be able to go up against that physicality?
Yeah, I think our state of mind was kind of just to come in and play smash mouth football, honestly. I mean, we're not the biggest. Our right side is pretty small, and I feel like if we just keep getting inch by inch, they'll eventually get tired. And I think that's what motivated us to keep going.
And, I mean, you were blocking all over the place. I mean, when Blake went down, you were still able to help gather a lot of yardage for your running backs, and you were still able to get a lot of yardage. And when you're looking at being able to, in order to develop those yards, even with your backup quarterback in, what was kind of the reaction for the team, and what were you thinking when that happened?
I mean, obviously, I'm here for Blake always. I mean, he's my number one quarterback, and he's a good friend of mine. But, I mean, there's times where we still have to go. Like, sometimes you just can't stop, and we have to go. So that's what I believe, and I think we just kept going, and then he was good and came back in, and we were good.
All right.
Yeah, I know, that's Mr. E.
And to close it out, obviously, looking at college, I saw that you've had some talks with people from CSU. I believe it was a visit to Wyoming recently, right?
Yeah. I visited Wyoming at CSU and CU.
So when you're looking at that, how does it feel to potentially play on a field you'll be playing at here in a couple of years?
It'd be fun, but I guess, I mean, I haven't proven myself yet. I haven't gotten anything yet, so I got to stay humble and keep working because I haven't got nothing yet. But it was definitely cool to be out there and to see how big it was. It made the field look small.
That was Cole Powell, and now we're going to get a conversation between Gideon and Carson Hageman, the starting middle linebacker for Erie.
All right, Carson, you came into this game. I believe it was the year before you were a freshman when Erie last made it to the championship against Chatfield, right?
It was my freshman year.
It was your freshman year. So how does it feel to get back to this point and be able to complete the job?
It feels great. I mean, I wasn't on the varsity team my freshman year, but this team is way different from last year. Like our team morale is great. Like we're just homeboys with everyone. Like no one's just left out, and we all have a common goal just to go finish this. And we fell short around every time we've made it the past 26 years, and now we finally made it and we won.
And I mean, you made it just in time. You're going to be heading up to 5A next year. It's going to be you and Cole, really, along with Braylon, who are going to be the main holdovers and main playmakers for this squad. What are you looking forward to in terms of moving up to 5A?
I'm ready for the challenge. We got Gavin Lusk at running back as well, and he will ball out. Our line will be developed. I mean, we only had one center at the line, and then, hopefully we can keep up with Cherry Creek and all those. We got to prove them wrong next year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hope you have a good one. Get home safe.
And now Gideon is going to chalk it up with Braylon Tolliver, the sophomore stud.
All right, I'm here with Braylon Tolliver, fresh off of winning the state championship. Braylon, how does it feel? It doesn't even feel real. I feel like the excitingness hasn't hit me yet. It's going to hit me on the bus ride home.
And I mean, you got a lot to be excited about. As a sophomore, you came in and you were able to make your impact felt. You ripped off that 25-yard tutty. What gives you the guts to come in here on a team with a bunch of D1 recruits, a bunch of D2 prospects as well, and just pull it out like that?
It's all them. They bring me up. They make me feel good, make me feel great, and I try for them.
And when you're looking to next year, you're not going to have Blake, you're not going to have the Calfield brothers. I mean, what are you looking forward to most next season?
Completely new. We're moving up to 5A. I'm just excited for the difference today.
And do you think 5A will be tougher or about the same as 4A?
I think it'll be the same until playoffs, and then it gets a little more specific and competitive.
And will you be sticking around to watch some of your new opponents in Cherry Creek and Columbine?
I'm not sure yet. We'll see.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Braylon. Very good game. I hope you have a good one, and get home safe.
You too. Thank you.
And last but not least, we're going to go to the 4A outstanding playmaker of the game here. And a spoiler alert, the playmaker of the week for 4A with Gideon, and that is Blake Barnett.
Blake, you left it all on the line for Erie. Your sophomore year, you guys fell short. And now the last year before you head up to 5A, you make it to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
How does it feel to finally be here?
It's just a blessing. I give all the glory to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And, I couldn't have done it without him. He gave me that strength to help me keep playing with the messed up ankle. And my team, the defense, they played one hell of a game. Offense, the offensive line, 4 juniors, 1 senior, they stepped up big, It was definitely wasn't just me, it was the whole team that all did everything, balled out.
Yeah, I was just thinking let's... And one last thing, I'll let you get right back to it, but
Yeah.
When you're going to K-State, that's another very, very gritty program.
Yeah.
What do you think was your biggest lesson from this game? Because you're going to be playing games with guys on the level of the guys you were seeing across the field,
Yeah.
and even better heading into next year. What's the lesson you took from this game that you're going to be carrying forward?
You just got to do your job. You can't try to do too much. Sophomore year, I did too much, and I threw 2 picks and fumbled the ball, and that ended up to us losing the game. I just play within myself and just rely on my teammates to do the job for me.
All right. Blake.
And that'll do it for the 2023 season in 4A here, with Erie topping Palmer Ridge 20-6 to be crowned the 4A state champs. Now we're going to have a word from our sponsor, and then we'll be right back with the 5A recap. Obviously, you want a trainer who can make you stronger and faster with the work you put in, but what about a trainer who can help you rehab and recover like the pros? Look no further than Junkyard Training, that not only offers specific strength and speed training, but also offers a plethora of recovery and rehab techniques like cryo, cupping, recovery boots, and so much more. Learn more today by visiting junkyardtraining.net or call 303-521-7594. Once again, visit junkyardtraining.net or call 303-521-7594 and get started today. And all of that brings us to the 5A state championship between the number 2 seeded Columbine Rebels, looking for their first title since 2011, and the defending number 1 seed Cherry Creek Bruins, looking for their 5th title in as many years. So Cherry Creek will actually start off with the football here, and they will open up this game with a run for 5 yards from Jordan Herron. However, on the next play, it's already starting to spell trouble as the snap is bobbled and it loses 6 yards, leading to 3rd and 11. And I do notice that it is extremely windy, which is going to play in favor of the team that does not pass. And so Creek responds with a pass of their own to Dawson Johnson, who is stopped short of the first down. And on 4th and 2, Cherry Creek punts, and it is a horrible punt, giving Columbine a short field to work with. And by short, I mean they are on the 32-yard line heading in. And they do what they do best, where they run left for 7 yards. That's James Basinger here. And then on the following play, Angelo Petrides gets a tackle for loss. And on 3rd and 4, Howell tackles, and they bring out the chains. And it is short, but the Rebels come out and run a QB sneak for a first down to the 21-yard line. Basinger goes right for 9 yards. And then Moreno runs, and the Rebels are on the 5-yard line knocking on the door. And following 2 more runs, with the second one going to Josh Snyder, Columbine will score and take a 7-0 lead with 6 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the first quarter. Now, on the next drive, a tackle by number 44 keeps the run to just 2. Hunter Hamilton on the tackle, who we will hear from later. And then Heron on the next play gets a stiff arm and a few yards, setting up 3rd and 4. They run up the middle, which isn't enough for a first down, but on 4th and 1, they hand it off to Jordan again, who goes up the middle to the 36-yard line for a first down. On the next play, it seems like the snap comes a little too early, and in addition with that, it bounces off of Brady Vodika and into Jordan Heron's hands, who gains some yards somehow, but a hold will push the Bruins back to the 26-yard line anyway. Now, they follow that up with a short pass to number 17, listed as Jaden Irving here, that sets up 2nd and 8. Number 80 for Columbine, however, follows it up with a huge tackle for loss. That is Spencer Howell, or Hooley. Apologies for saying your name wrong. And that sets up 3rd and 14, where Vodika drops back and surveys before running for 9. And on 4th and 5, the Bruins will punt. This time, Columbine does have the ball on their own 35-yard line with 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter here. And there's a tackle keeping a gain to just 2 before Snyder gets a handoff for 6. And on 3rd and 2, Snyder runs left for 5 and a first down. And another run for 6 will close the first quarter. Now, it is the second quarter, and the Rebels are on the 46-yard line going in when they hand off to Snyder, who avoids 2 tackles and goes all the way for the touchdown here, putting Columbine up by 2 scores to start the second quarter. Now, Creek does start this next drive on their own 43-yard line, and after an incompletion and a tackle for loss, they dial up a draw play to set up 4th and 2, and the snap goes wrong again, and it'll be a turnover on downs. And now the Rebels have the ball on the 45-yard line going in. They call 3 consecutive run plays here that lead to a first down, and then another a pair of runs between a short one and then a toss right picks up a first down as well. They run right for 2, and then for some reason in the red zone, they decide to pass here, and the ball is just in the air forever here, and it's basically gift-wrapped for cornerback Keon Johnston here, who makes the interception and gives Creek the ball on their own 20-yard line after kneeling in the end zone. Vodika then on this next drive dials up a deep pass down the right side to Max Lovett, who makes a great play on the ball here and sets up Cherry Creek inside the 40-yard line. However, the next 2 plays have no success, and that leads to 3rd and 10. But on this 3rd and 10, Vodika drops back and then takes off and runs all the way to the 8-yard line. Creek takes a timeout here with 4 minutes and 23 seconds here, trying to find what they like, and they come up with a short run that doesn't really work here. But 2 carries later, Jordan Heron makes the plane here and scores, bringing the score 7-14. This gap would be very short-lived, however, as Josh Snyder would take the kickoff to the house here and push the Columbine lead right back up by 2 scores to lead 21-7 with 2 minutes and 51 seconds in the half. Now, Creek, they will start this next drive on their own 25-yard line and call another deep pass that gets inside of the 40-yard line, this time to number 18, who is listed as Tyson Mock, a senior receiver. Now they pass right to 14, who picks up 7 yards. That is Adiola Williams here. And then they hand off to 7, Jaden Fox here, who gets a first down to the 21-yard line. There's 2 incomplete passes, and that second one draws a really terrible pass interference call. It was not pass interference. I didn't think it was pass interference in real time. And then when I watched it on the Jumbotron or whatever you want to call it, it was definitely not pass interference. So Cherry Creek gets a huge break here, giving them a first down to the 11-yard line. They then pass left for 5 and then hand off to Fox 2 consecutive times with that second run, finding the end zone just barely to close this score back 14-21 with 46 seconds left in the half. Now, Columbine, they start with their own 20-yard line, and Moreno runs right and gets banged up on the play and uses up an official timeout. And with 37 seconds left, there's a fumbled snap that is recovered by the Rebels, and they will just take that 7-point lead into halftime, knowing that they are going to get the football back. And so, to start, they are just driving here. They eventually get to the 35-yard line before a penalty sets up 3rd and 16. But on this 3rd and 16 here, they call a play action and find one of their best players here, James Sillison here, on a route over the middle that picks up a first down. However, they follow that up with 2 short handoffs that sets up 3rd and 7 at about midfield, and a run left leads to 4th and 5 where Columbine will punt. Now, Creek starts this next drive at their own 11-yard line where they hand off to Jordan Herron, who picks up 2 before a Rebel gets in the backfield on the following play and forces a tackle for loss. Creek follows that up with a draw, and that leads to 4th and 2 on their own 19-yard line, and the offense is still out, and they call a deep pass right that ends up inside the 20-yard line. So on 4th and 2, and the chips are down, Cherry Creek somehow converts here, and not only do they convert, but they are now in the Columbine red zone here. Now, 2 defensive stops here later, it is now 3rd and 9 at the 11-yard line, and they pass right, and that is also incomplete. And on 4th and 9, Cherry Creek brings out the kicking unit, and I wonder if this was done on purpose by Columbine here, who encroaches and sets up 4th and 4, and Cherry Creek, they get a little too greedy here and put the offense back on the field. But not only do they get greedy here, they're not even reaching into, this potential bear trap with like a retractable metal claw. They stick their hand in there foolishly, calling a quarterback keeper that is stopped and leads to a turnover on downs and Columbine football here. Now, after forcing that stop, Columbine will have the ball on their own 6-yard line, and with them backed up, they do lose a yard with a huge TFL by T.I. here. But on the very next play, with their backs against the wall, they fake a handoff right and then handoff left to James Sillison, who has room and gets all the way to the other 40-yard line. After 2 more runs here, it sets up 3rd and 1, and another handoff to Snyder picks up a first down. They hand off to James Basinger here for a gain of 7, and then a muffed snap ends the 3rd quarter. And so Columbine opens up the 4th quarter up 21-14, and there's an opening run, once again stuffed by T.I., and on 4th and 2, the Rebels dial up a toss right that picks up a first down to the 18-yard line, but on the very next play, a snap is somehow still messed up again, even though they've been receiving the exact same snap all year, and it is recovered by Jack Francis, or Jack Franny, as referred to on Max Preps here, and gives Cherry Creek the ball on their own 19-yard line with a chance to tie the game. However, a short run and a pass rush forces Creek into a 3rd and 16, and there's an incompletion, and I literally write LMAO, Creek cannot punt, and now Columbine has the ball on the 26-yard line. This is a 7-yard punt. And an awesome punchline to the joke that is this game, as Columbine will capitalize here. And despite the Bruins bringing the blitz, they will rush for a few more first downs, with James Basinger getting them all the way to the inch line. And then he gets to finish the drive and this game with the final stake in the heart as he runs and is now 28-14 with 5.5 minutes to go. And honestly, I don't even feel like talking about this next Creek drive, but kudos to the Rebels defense here that does just absolutely limit and bottle this Creek team in, and will go on to be the 5A state champions here for the 2023 Colorado football season. Now I'm going to pass it over to Gideon, who has a couple of interviews on the Bruins side.
So, Max, this obviously isn't the ending that you wanted, but when you're looking back on the span of your high school career, that still 3 championships and 4 appearances.
Sure.
Looking back, what's been your favorite moment from your time here at Cherry Creek?
Probably just getting to know all my teammates, and I think that's probably the biggest thing. I love these kids, and that's probably the biggest part of the whole experience.
And, I mean, here next year you're going to have a whole new group that you're going to be getting to know and getting to love.
Sir.
What are you looking forward to most heading into Purdue?
Probably just new competition. It's going to be hard, but just I love competing, so I'm competing for a spot, working pretty much every day. I love football, and it's all I want to do. So to make it my whole life, I think it's going to be really good.
And to close it out, what's been your favorite moment from your high school career?
I'll probably that's a good question. Favorite moment? That's hard. It's probably just the entire summer. I love the summer workouts. It's all the team bonding stuff like that. That's what I love. It's just the team bonding. It's not just one single moment. It's just everything. I just love all of it. Even the losses, I learn. I just love it. It's good.
That was Max Parrott on the offensive line. Now we're going to move over to Max Lovett, the receiver.
So, Max, when you're looking at tonight's game, obviously not the result that you wanted, but you absolutely balled out. What was your favorite moment from tonight's game?
It's got to be my one catch I had. There's 2 defenders on me. I tried my best tonight, but I just didn't come out on top.
And, obviously acclimating to the new system after coming over from Pomona. What was that adjustment like for you?
It's a lot more intensity during practices and games. I feel like at Pomona, I didn't feel myself. But when I came to Creek, I just elevated my game. I just feel so much more at home.
And what are you looking forward to the most when you're looking towards next year, your junior season?
Just playing with my boys, man. Getting better and grinding in the offseason.
All right.
And now we're going to hop over to some of the Columbine interviews, starting with Hunter Hamilton.
You just pulled off a stunning victory, doubled up on the reigning 4-time champions. How does it feel to make it to the top of the mountain?
Man, it's great. There's no team that's more deserving. Obviously I'm super emotional. We put in 4 years of just extremely hard work, and to beat a team like Cherry Creek, it's awesome. So yeah.
And, you had no small part in this. It felt like every single play, you were within 5 to 10 feet of Brady Vodka, and you got really, really close to him, put real good pressure on him, forced him to make mistakes. What were you seeing in that dominant O-line to be able to get that close and to be able to apply that pressure, both on that level and when you're more in the backer spot?
After the first couple series, I could tell they didn't want to run the ball on our D-line. Our D-line is the best D-line in the state. Our D-line, man, we're the best D-line, in my opinion, in the state. And I could tell that after the first couple series, they didn't want to run on us. So I knew they were going to be switching, spread it out on us and try to throw the ball. So
that makes sense. And what has been your favorite moment from your high school career outside of tonight?
I would say, the day in 8th grade, I still remember the day I came and visited Columbine. And that was the most special day of my life. I met people that are still in my life today and will forever be in my life. So, yeah.
And now we will jump over to James Sillison, who getting caught immediately after the game after he shook everyone's hands.
They got great players, all 11 spots, and our team played our butt off. I got to give it up to the O-line, D-line. They played their butts off, and, I just did my part. And it feels great. I'm going to go celebrate with my family, my friends. Yeah, I'm just awesome. It's just awesome.
And when you're looking at those big plays, that run, that catch, it felt like you were on every tackle. What was your mindset heading into this game to be able to take care of that?
Just stay in the moment. Stay in the moment. That's all what I always tell myself. Don't let my head get too far in the future. Don't let my head stay too far in the past. Stay in the moment and, make plays when I have to.
And to close it out, I heard that you're going to be heading out to Brown here sometime soon.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to be on the bus on the way home cutting up this film to show Coach?
Oh, yeah. But I'm going to go celebrate with my family first, go celebrate with my boys. They deserve everything.
All right.
And it's going to be great. So, thank you.
Very good job tonight. Have a good one.
And as crowned by Chassa, the most outstanding player of the game, Josh Snyder.
So, Josh, when we're looking at tonight's game, the overall highlight was you ripping off that kickoff return tutty, 95-plus yards. What was going through your head when you were rocketing down the field?
What was going through my head? Just run as fast as you can. I've been caught multiple times this year, and it's so upsetting. And so just don't get caught. Just run as fast as you can and don't look back.
That makes sense. And I mean, you guys had that don't look back mentality.
Yeah.
You took the lead early on and you were able to hold on. Well, what was going through your head? What was going through your mind when you got that first score and then you were like, oh crap, we're actually holding on. We're beating what has been the dynasty in Colorado for the past few years.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we were expecting going into this game. We wanted to come out hard, and that's what we did. And it made us successful. And kind of what was going through my head was, this is everything we've worked for all season. Let's just keep finishing. You know, like I was looking for the next step, and
And I mean, next step. Are you fully sure what's going to be coming for you next?
I'm not fully sure. No.
Do you want to play in college?
I absolutely want to play in college. Yeah. So just trying to put myself out there. I was so focused on the season and the state championship game, so I haven't really thought of that yet. But that's coming for sure. So.
That makes sense. And I mean, instead of looking forward, let's look back. You've played with some great players, had some great moments.
Yeah.
Outside of tonight, what's been your favorite moment of your high school career?
Favorite moment of my high school career. So I had a friend in youth that went to he played on the same team as me, and he went to Mullen. And sophomore year, I was going into the game. You know, I wasn't a starter, and I was able to break off a kick return touchdown similar to tonight against them. So that was
congratulations, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
You had a hell of a football team. Congratulations, man. Good luck to you. Good luck to you.
But you ripped off that kickoff touchdown against Mullen.
Ripped off the kick return touchdown, and that was one of my highlights, just because I was looking forward to play Mullen all year, and
got some bragging rights over your old buddy.
Yeah, I did, and then he transfers.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Damn good game.
Thank you, sir.
And those were all of the interviews that we had for that 5A championship game. So thank you, Gideon, for getting all those interviews between 4A and 5A. And shout out to Coach V for doing that interview with Rylan Cooney for 3A. So thank you all so much for helping put together an awesome season. And thank you for the supporters and for the people that were really feeling themselves on championship day. Thanks for the mentions, for real. Thanks for spreading us and helping us gain a few more followers. So, you know, whether you like to love it or whether you like to hate it, you're still following us, and, you know, I'll at least get a little smirk out of that. But, yeah, we're going to have one more word from our sponsor before we do our last Playmakers of the Week and our last Game of the Week Playmaker as well. So I'm going to pass it over to myself to talk about Madskillz. So do you want to know what the best kept secret in running back training is? It's Madskillz RB1 Training. Coach Voss is flipping the script and leveling up running back training in Colorado by implementing his proven, nationally recognized system of training. Don't be fooled by the name. Quarterbacks and receivers become fundamentally sound juke artists as well with his training. It's evident the athletes he trains love him. Each progressive training session arms the athlete with a new skill set that prepares them to be shifty, powerful, and elusive. Parents love Coach Voss because with his training, they receive free college recruiting tips, no contracts, and no drama. Message him on Instagram at Madskillz_RB1 Training or at Coach Cut Creator on Twitter, X, for more information. Offseason runs from January through July, so get in the cut and get some Madskillz this offseason. And for Playmakers of the Week, in case you forgot, we got 3 Playmakers of the Week here for each championship game, one for each championship game, that is, and it is brought to you by Code Red Coaching. Visit CodeRedCoaching.com or reach out to Cody Rosenthal here at 720-979-1914 so you can get started on your mental performance journey today. Code Red Coaching, where the grind to greatness starts with the mind. Go ahead and set up your appointment, whether you're an individual or a team, so that way you could be as mentally attuned as these Playmakers of the Week were. We're going to start down south here with CSU Pueblo, where there were a couple of good options from Holy Family, like a Dominic Gabriel, who had 19 carries for 100 yards and a score, or an Ashton Erickson, who had 5 catches for 102 yards and a score. But we're going to give it to the guy who helped deliver some of those and did some of the same things here. Rylan Cooney, the 3A most valuable playmaker according to our 3A End of the Year award show. Go ahead and give that a listen. And the 3A most valuable playmaker of the week here for Holy Family. 16 of 24 for 270 yards, 3 touchdowns to just 1 pick, and 21 carries for 85 yards and a score, just like he's been doing all year, getting it done through the air and the ground. I mean, 45 total touches this game. Pretty absurd here. 4 touchdowns and 350 plus yards here. Just another day at the office for Cooney here, who is so integral to this Holy Family run. I mean, the defense really did its job, obviously, by holding Lutheran to only 7. But Rylan Cooney is going to take the cake here and be crowned our 3A Playmaker of the Week. Now, moving up to 4A and up north at Canvas Stadium, Braylon Tolliver had a really good argument here with his big rushing touchdown and his pass deflection as well on defense. But we're going to give it to the story himself, Blake Barnett, with a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and an interception on defense. Easily over 50 yards of rushing, over 100 yards passing, and a few tackles as well. He was imperative to this Erie W here, and it was a fitting conclusion to the Barnett story. And then in 5A here, there were 2 pretty good options here for the Rebels between James Sillison here with a ton of tackles, a reception that went for a first down, and a few carries as well, including one that got ripped for about 50 yards here. So that was a very awesome, nomination, but it's got to go to Josh Snyder, who had over 200 total yards, I would assume. Shout out to 4A and 5A for not having the stats in by now, but a ton of yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and a kickoff return for a touchdown mixed in with a pass deflection or 2 from the safety position. So once again, that is the 5A Playmaker of the Week, Josh Snyder, the 4A Playmaker of the Week, Blake Barnett, and the 3A Playmaker of the Week, Rylan Cooney. Those guys brought to you by Code Red Coaching. Make sure to visit CodeRedCoaching.com or reach out to Cody Rosenthal at 720-979-1914. And shout out to Code Red Coaching for being an awesome sponsor and helping us bring this Playmakers of the Week to life for the 1 through 5A classifications all season. Cody Rosenthal is an awesome guy who I've got to talk to in person a few times, and he's still doing everything that he can to help athletes perform to the top of their game and, carve out a role in sports that is becoming more and more important as far as developing that mental edge over your opponent. So be sure to check out CodeRedCoaching.com. Now, obviously, the Game of the Week Playmaker is going to come from the exact same pool here, but maybe even a little bit more specific because, we did choose 3 Playmakers of the Week, but there's only 1 Game of the Week Playmaker, and that is brought to you by Junkyard Training. Be sure to visit junkyardtraining.net or call 303-521-7594 today, where you can get a huge advantage here just down in Centennial with some of the best football trainers, both in training your body to prepare for the game and to recover after the game as well. Shout out to Jesse Branham, who's been an awesome help this season and has brought a lot of insight as well to our podcast. So shout out to Jesse, and shout out to him for providing the winner of this Game of the Week Playmaker Award with an opportunity to receive some protein powder that is good to go for any NCAA, as some of these guys are looking to play on the next level, a shirt, and, a potential shaker bottle as well. So the winner of the Game of the Week Playmaker, once again brought to you by Junkyard Training, is going to be Blake Barnett. And I'm going to take some time here to actually really talk about this wild story that is Blake Barnett, the one that started with me, just a senior at that time in college, doing an internship for my sports coaching minor, coaching at Greeley West High School, where we're watching some, limited film, and we are assuming, hey, this guy's a freshman quarterback. Obviously, he was pretty good in middle school, but, high school's a little bit different of a game. So we're going to blitz him and see what his reaction to that is and if he can adapt to that. Now, I don't want to hold, my hats off for the defensive coordinator at the time where I was at. However, Blake Barnett came in and he oh my gosh, he basically traumatized me, honestly, in my first coaching experience. I was up in the box. I was at the time, an assistant coach, freshman offensive coordinator, and I got to, see things from the box and make recommendations from there for the offense. But man, for the defense, this guy who is a linebackers coach who was up there with me, he was in shambles. I mean, Blake Barnett was basically doing whatever he wanted. And they started beating us so bad that, eventually they pulled Barnett and put in their senior backup, which is one of the most absurd sentences I've probably ever said in my life. And Barnett would go on to have an awesome season. I want to say that Erie, they either went 6-0 or they went 5-1 maybe in 4A. It was their very first season in 4A, I might add, where they just recently moved up. So we thought that we might have had an edge there, and we did not. It was the COVID-shortened season, so kind of a small sample size and a little bit crazier when you get to his senior year. But I'm going to hold off on that because as a sophomore, this guy actually won our most valuable playmaker award, for the 4A classification as a sophomore with like 50 touchdowns, throwing and running like a lunatic, getting looks from all over the country on the D1 level, and leading this Erie team to state to go off against Chatfield. And in that game, unfortunately, with a very talented Erie squad, came just short on a crazy last drive by Chatfield. Now, Blake in that game did make some mistakes, was a little erratic, kept them in the game, but also kept them out of the game at the same time with some interceptions and, just with some costly turnovers. Now, his junior year, Erie struggles out the gate, stumbling out with losses to Montrose as well as Broomfield early in the season, and things are not looking great for what was our preseason number one team. However, once they start winning, they do not stop, and they go on an incredible win streak, including pulling off road upset against Ponderosa, and I believe that they even upset the next team after that, en route to playing Broomfield in the semifinal, which had the atmosphere of a championship game from people who were there and not at the 1A, 2A state games like we were. They said it was one of the greatest Colorado football games that was ever played. But Blake, unfortunately, gets a lot of the wrong attention here as he does dive for the touchdown. And unfortunately, the ball comes out and Broomfield wins by the skin of their teeth and goes on to win state. And I know that just had to light a fire inside of Blake because, if Erie had made state his junior year, they definitely would have won it. I don't have any doubt about that. And they continue to lose talented players throughout the years. John Pastor from his sophomore year is a tackle who went on to go to K-State. Caleb Tyson, who was the running back that year, would go on to, I think, have a preferred walk-on to Northern Colorado, I want to say, his freshman year, where they didn't even get a chance at the playoffs because of the shortened season and whatnot. Mason Vive was somebody who went to CSU. So lots of big names coming and going. From his junior year, Caden Lettuce, his number one target, went on to go to Southern Utah, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up at an FBS level school within the next couple of years with the receiving talent and athleticism that he has. So there was a lot of question marks, honestly, about what this team was going to look like. And so they go on the road to start their season. They lose to a Vanguard team, a talented Vanguard team. And it's a performance that we maybe have seen before where he has a couple of interceptions and turns the ball over. He's still making huge plays. But, I think that here at the pod, we have done a few film breakdowns on Blake Barnett. And, we were critical of his ability to see the field, make reads, show some touch on throws, and just play kind of within himself and not a super erratic play style. And that did not come back to bite him really for the remainder of the season. He was still able to do all kinds of crazy Johnny Manziel-esque stuff of running around, buying a ton of time, taking defenders' ankles, uncorking some deep bombs, and, the Erie receiving core was really awesome this season as well. And, defensively, he was also making a ton of plays, the most plays, honestly, at safety his junior and senior year. So everything started to look like it came together. They had the number 2 seed. They go on to just take care of business against a lot of these teams, including a very close, gritty win against Montrose in the semifinal. And I even talked to Coach Wes about this, that the Blake Barnett that we saw this past Saturday, December 2nd, 2023, was unlike any form of Blake Barnett that we've seen, and the most refined Blake Barnett. So, thinking of the Game of the Week playmaker, obviously Rylan Cooney, great submission and awesome performance. Josh Snyder, those teams don't win without those guys' performance. But I think what makes this Game of the Week playmaker for us, brought to you by Junkyard Training, is the story, the narrative, right? That Barnett couldn't play within himself. He couldn't make those touch throws over the middle. He couldn't take what the defense gives him. He couldn't just settle down. And, I think it was even a part of our belief heading into the championship that there were going to be mistakes that was going to cost Erie this game with the erratic style of play that we had come to see and even expect. And in order to be a champion, you need to complete the unexpected. You need to accomplish what people don't think you're capable of. And Blake did that and so much more. He showed an incredible amount of passion and heart and grit and just everything that you want from a football player. And it is the most convincing performance I have seen from a prospect that, obviously we all know that Blake Barnett is that guy, is that he's good. He's the all-time Colorado touchdown leader in 11-man football, breaking Christian McCaffrey's record just earlier this season, which was also a very special moment and has carved out a role in the Colorado High School Football Hall of Fame for sure, or at least the PMC Hall of Fame, I would say, since he's one of the few players we've got to see both start to finish. But for him to do it that way and for him to uplift his teammates and just be so locked in this game, he's known to have quite the personality, which is obviously a good thing in football. You want your leader to be fired up and excited about big plays, which he still was, but he wasn't jawing a whole lot like we've come to expect, and he wasn't, he wasn't making a huge show out of it. He was playing football in the purest form, and it was honestly beautiful to watch, and my heart sunk when he left the field because I was like, oh my gosh, I want more of what Blake Barnett has to offer for this state game. I don't want that to be the last play. And it wasn't, and he showed guts coming back in and was literally buying time, running around and hopping around on one foot, making throws to set up manageable first downs and doing quarterback runs and staying in the game, doing the handoffs, and was making plays on both sides of the ball. I know that my guy Jesse at Junkyard loves to see a little bit of defensive representation, and Barnett delivered on that by intercepting the opposing quarterback and getting a huge return while in the red zone, mind you. So that ultimately could be determined as, a 7 to 14 point swing, honestly, in a game that was decided by 14. So massive plays and big moments, a beautiful passing touchdown where he stiff arms a pass rusher and delivers an absolute dot on a comeback route to start the scoring. And then just an iconic dive for the end zone. It kind of he didn't get helicoptered, but it had the same energy as the helicopter for John Elway. That was the second touchdown for Erie. He gets that interception, obviously, in the red zone, and then he gets hit out of the game. His ankle is bothering him. I mean, this is a high-volume player that we're talking about, and he comes back in, and he does his job and shows just enough of a threat with his one leg and is completing passes on one leg to help give Erie that position to hand off to Tolliver and complete the dagger for the win. The Game of the Week playmaker, so much more this time around than just any other week. This was championship week, and this is a fitting Game of the Week playmaker, Blake Barnett out of Erie High School. Shout out to Blake. Got to talk to him after, got to take a picture with him. It's all PMC fam here, and, we appreciate we've been pretty hard on Blake the past few years, honestly, and we've been harsh because we think that he has such a great opportunity to show just how good Colorado football can be. So we've been harsh, we've been pushing him. I know that his teammates have done the same, and I know that his coaches have done the same, and I know that on Saturday, he pushed himself more than anyone possibly ever could outside of himself. So shout out to Blake. thanks so much for being such an awesome story in Colorado football history. And shout out to Junkyard Training, who has given me an opportunity to really talk about Blake Barnett in the full extent. Blake, we would love to have you for a full episode interview sometime and kind of pick your brain on what your interactions have been with us over the past few years as we saw you, well, I saw you firsthand annihilate me in the first varsity football game that I ever coached during the pandemic. And then the last game that I ever got to see you play was you hoisting that 4A state championship trophy up for Erie for the first time in program history. 4A, that is, for the Tigers. Once again, to learn more, visit junkyardtraining.net. And Blake, whenever you get a chance, or once your leg feels a little bit better, your ankle feels a little bit better, hop on down to 14697 East Easter Avenue, Suite E in Centennial, Colorado, 80013 for your chance to pick up some swag, courtesy of Junkyard Training and Jesse Branham there at Junkyard. Once again, go ahead and visit 14697 East Easter Avenue, Suite E, Centennial, Colorado, 80013. And the rest of you can purchase swag from there by visiting that location or checking out junkyardtraining.net. But that's going to do it for this episode, the Week 15 Colorado High School football recap with the 3A, 4A, and 5A state championship recaps. And, I'm going to just close it off with that, honestly. We'll have an episode talking about our favorite moments and some takeaways from the season as well. And, while Colorado football does feel like, a little bit gloomy sometimes and that it might have got set back a few years, it still has been fun this season for the most part to cover it and watch a few upsets go down in the state championships, at least on the 3 through 5A levels. And to all of our supporters who follow us on social media, whether that be at Playmaker Corner on Twitter/X, at Playmakers Corner on Instagram, at Playmakers Corner on TikTok to watch the highlights that we have of these state games, or on Facebook, just Playmakers Corner, or on YouTube through the Playmakers Corner channel. Thank you all so much for following or subscribing to any of those. And if you are listening to us through either YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts, there's more options to check us out on all of those. Go ahead and turn on your notifications so you get notified whenever we have a new episode drop as we transition into our 5A regular season awards coming out on Friday with our all PMC teams as well. And for the top 5 seniors by position, it's going to be a very interesting one, but we're getting back to our roots here with the series that started it all here in Colorado for Colorado high school football. But I have been your host for this episode, Cody Stauffer, signing off.